Welcome to the notes on areas of rectangles, parallelograms, triangles, and trapezoids. So, obviously, I want you guys to be able to find the area of all these basic shapes. What is area? Well, it's the amount of inside space or amount of space inside the object. Okay, so perimeter is outside, the area is the amount of space inside. Okay, so that's what area is. How do you find area of a rectangle? It's all about the formulas. So area of a rectangle is simply, I use the letters base, B for base times height. Again, here it doesn't matter which one you call the base and the height. You just have to remember base and height are always perpendicular. You're going to see that theme throughout this lesson. So I won't do every example. Let's give you some. So here, we'll do this one. This is a rectangle, so those are 90. So you can call the base 7 up here, this your height. So to find the formula is just area equals 7 times 4. So area is 28, and since that's centimeters squared, again, area is always units squared. I think the other one, pretty self-explanatory. Next shape is a parallelogram. All right, another four-sided figure. Well, guess what? It's got the exact same formula as a rectangle, but again, base and height have to be perpendicular. So when you see the height needs to have that perpendicular symbol by it, right? Then you'll know it's the height. Okay, it's not going to be this slant height here. All right, be careful of that. All right, so first example is pretty straightforward. I want to take a look at the second one here. We've got all sorts of numbers. Which do we need? Well, base and height have to be perpendicular. So here's our base. These two lines are perpendicular, and they show that they had to extend that side to kind of create that right angle. So here's our height, and then this would be our base. This would be our base. So when we find the formula, area equals base times height. That's just 6 times 4. So it would be 24. In this case, it's feet squared. So there's parallelograms. All right, next shape we've got our triangles. Now the triangle is similar. It's similar to what we've been doing. All right, all about the base and the height. So it's base times height, but this time we're going to divide by 2. So again, if I was going to call in this triangle the base, the height needs to be perpendicular to the base. This would be the height. Be careful. It is not one of the legs or that slant height there. The height needs to be perpendicular. Again, perpendicular. So that's not the height. So let's take a couple of examples here. First one I think is pretty self-explanatory. Let's take this one right here. Base times height. Here, remember, this is our height because it is perpendicular to that base. So there's our height. There's our base. So area equals 9 times 5, which is 45, divided by 2. 45 divided by 2 is 22.5. Decimals are okay, and that would, again, would be centimeters squared. Next example, that other example is pretty straightforward. Let's go look at our last shape, the trapezoid. All right, trapezoid has 2 bases. The bases are the parallel sides. So these are both bases. All right, it doesn't matter which one you call base 1, base 2, but the bases are the parallel sides. So the formula is, it's kind of a combination of the triangle and the rectangle. It's base 1 plus base 2. So add up the 2 bases. Since there's 2 of them, you got to times those by the height and then divide by 2. So it's still base times height divided by 2, but you have 2 bases, got to add them up. So let's take a look at an example. We'll do the first one here. So area is going to equal, well, here's base 1, all right? So there's 5 plus, here's the second base, 22. So 5 plus 2, there's 27, times the height. You can see this is our perpendicular right here. So there's our height of 4. And then that whole thing is going to be divided by 2. So 5 plus 22 is 27. The 4 times 4 divided by 2. 20 ended up being 27 times 2, which is going to be 54 centimeters squared. So that's how you find the area of a trapezoid. A couple other examples you might see. Quick reminder here, base and height are always perpendicular. This shape, this is one where you're going to have to divide it up into 2 rectangles. And they call this a composite shape, where it's made up of more than one. So this is 6, this is 6. All right, if that whole thing is 12, all right, if this is 12, and that from here to here is 6, well, that means that this must be 6. And then your height, you've got 8. So I think we've got enough information now to figure this out. This square is base times height. So that's 36. This is 6 times 8 is 48. So the area of this would be 48 plus 36. And you'd add those up, and that would equal your area, and those units would be squared. So 8 and 6 is 4. So I think that would be 84 centimeters squared. So that would be your final answer. Now this trapezoid, a lot of these problems you're going to have missing information. So you're going to need to use Pythagorean theorem, SOHCAHTOA, whatever the case might be. So in this example right here, we need this bottom base. Well, we know from this is 9 from here to here, so here to here is also 9. We need to find these bottom bases right here. We know they're going to be the same, but to do that, we've got these right triangles right here where we know 2 of the 3 sides. All right, so this one we'd use Pythagorean theorem. Remember, leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. So I got to say x squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. When I do that, I'm going to get x squared plus 16 equals 25. I'm going to subtract 16, so x squared equals 9. Divide square root each side, so x equals 3. So I know that this x right here is 3, and this is 3. So 9 plus 3 is 12, plus another 3 is 15. So that bottom base is 15. Once I know that, then I can use the formula for area. Area equals base 1 plus base 2. That's the piece I was missing, times the height divided by 2. So there you have it. Remember, the base and height are always perpendicular, again, which means they form that 90-degree angle. So there you have your lesson on area of squares, rectangles, triangles, and trapezoids.